We discuss the theodolite survey. The theodolite survey it is an instrument used for the measuring angles, distance, or measuring the heights. Means for use for labeling. Okay, the theodolite is a most accurate surveying instrument. Okay, mainly used for mainly used for measuring horizontal and vertical angles, locating point on a lines, and prolonging survey lines, and finding difference of labels, and setting out grades and ranging curves, and tachymetric survey. Tachymetric survey means the measuring the distance between 2 points is called tachymetric survey. So the different the theodolite is used for the different purposes. Then next, the classification theodolites. Classification the theodolites are based on the transit and non-transit, and then second is classified based on their vernier and micrometer. It is based on the measuring the reading, or it is based on the telescope type of telescope. Then we discuss the transit theodolite. Then transit theodolite means means the theodolite is called a transit theodolite when the telescope can be transited. When the telescope transited, then it called transit theodolite. It means revolved through a complete revolution about horizontal axis in the vertical plane. In a vertical plane, the telescope is rotating like this, completely rotating in in horizontal axis in vertical planes. Okay, this is known as the transit theodolite. Then non-transit theodolite means the telescope cannot transit. When the telescope cannot transit, this is called the non-transit theodolites. Then next, vernier theodolite. Vernier for reading the graduated circular. If the vernier are used, when the graduated circular, when the vernier is used, is called vernier theodolite. When the graduated circular use micrometer, is called micrometer theodolites. There are two categories. One is vernier theodolite and another category is micrometer theodolites. Then next, like the theodolites different components. We see the first labeling heads, and another is lower circular plate and upper circular plate. Then other one is telescope, then vernier scales, then frames, plumb bobs, and tripod stand. These are the components of a theodolites. Then the adjustment of a theodolite are the two kinds. There are two types of for adjusting the theodolites. When we set up the theodolite, there are first one is permanent adjustment, and second one is temporary adjustment. Mainly we use temporary adjustment for different purpose of works. Permanent adjustment means the permanent adjustments are made to establish the relationship between fundamental line of the theodolite, and once made they last for the long times, and they are essential for the accuracy of observation. When we see the any faulty, in case we use the temporary adjustment for the long time for finding the accuracy. Then next one is then these are the steps for permanent adjustment. Okay, first one the first one is the adjustment of horizontal plate level. First one is the adjustment of horizontal plate level. The axis of the plate level must be perpendicular to the vertical axis. Okay, there one is the this is the vertical axis and this is the horizontal axis. Okay, so horizontal axis and vertical axis both are perpendicular to each other, and second is collimation adjustment. The line of the collimation should coincide with the axis of the telescope and the axis of the object slide, and should be at the right angle to the horizontal axis. Okay, then next one is the telescope axis. The telescope axis and the axis of objective slide must be right angle to the horizontal axis. Then next, horizontal axis adjustment. The horizontal axis must be perpendicular to the vertical axis. Okay, then next point for the adjustment of the telescope level or altitude level plate levels. Okay, the axis of the telescope level or the altitude level must be parallel to the line of the collimation. The line of collimation must be parallel to the telescope levels. This is the then next is point 5, the vertical circular index adjustment. The vertical circular vernier must read 0 when the line of collimation is horizontal. When the line of collimation is horizontal, then the vertical vernier, vertical vernier saw always 0 reading. Then next is temporary adjustment. The temporary adjustment are made at each set of the instrument before we start taking the observation with the instrument. There are 3 temporary adjustment. Before we starting any job, first we set up the instrument, first we do the temporary adjustment. After temporary adjustment, then we take the readings. Okay, then first temporary adjustment are 3 categories. First one is centering, second one is leveling, and third one is focusing.